Chapter 1. Background and Main Events of August 8 in Kiev. 1.1. Background before the attack. After more than 3 years of war, Ukraine and Russia have yet to determine the end date. August 2025 is a crucial period. Summer is gradually receding, winter is harsh, but also the time when Kiev's defenses need to be strengthened to the maximum. Meanwhile, Russia continues to increase attacks with cheap suicide UAVs, especially the Shahed 136, 131, putting great economic and psychological pressure on Ukraine. Kiev, as the political and economic center, is always at the center of each air attack. 1.2. Time and main events of August 8. On the evening of August 7 to 8, 2025, the Ukrainian air defense radar system detected the appearance of many unidentified targets from Crimea and border areas. At around 2 a.m., sirens sounded throughout the capital. People received warnings via the Air Alert application and quietly waited for what would happen. According to information from the Ukrainian Air Force Command, Russia launched more than 108 Shahed UAVs and simulated them from different directions. Some UAVs flew close to the target, others were used as decoys. But Ukrainian air defenses shot down at least 82 targets, leaving only a few fragments falling on the outskirts and lightly injuring 3 people, a 16-year-old girl and 2 elderly women, along with some minor fires in residential areas. 1.3. Initial statements from the parties. President Zelensky quickly appeared on television asserting, "Air defense won last night. We continue to live, continue to fight." The Russian side did not announce specifics, but pro-Russian media described the action as strategic pressure. The European Union, the United States, and NATO unanimously condemned, promising to increase air defense aid to Kiev. Chapter 2. Ukrainian air defenses versus Russian UAVs, tactics and technology in the skies of Kiev. 2.1. Horrifying statistics when UAVs storm Ukraine. July 2025 marked a record moment in the history of drone warfare. In this month alone, Russia launched a total of more than 6,000 Shahed UAVs and other suicide drones against Ukraine, a figure 14 times higher than the same period last year. One day, July 9, saw more than 700 UAVs crash into Ukrainian territory in a single night, surpassing the entire number of Russian UAVs that attacked in July 2024. This is an indispensable source of data to visualize the enormous pressure that Ukraine's air defense system is facing. 2.2. The skies of Kiev become a suicide battlefield. On the evening of August 7 and early morning of August 8, Kiev radar detected a series of UAVs approaching the capital. Russia reportedly launched 108, including Shahed, a simulated enemy drone, and 3 jet drones. Kiev's Ukrainian air defense responded quickly. 82 UAVs were shot down over the capital, among them, in addition to Shahed, 3 modern jet UAVs. However, 26 UAVs still hit their targets, causing damage in 10 locations, some of which led to large fires and caused minor casualties in the Bucha district. The casualty tally: 3 women were injured, including a 16-year-old girl and 2 elderly people, along with extensive damage to homes, crops, and personal vehicles. The thunderous scene, the aircraft soaring and then being shot down, has become a symbol of resilience. 2.3. Exploring the strategy. Drone interceptor when UAVs fight UAVs. The emergence of drone interceptors has opened a new chapter in drone warfare. Ukraine has developed UAVs to attack enemy UAVs at extremely reasonable costs, about $1,000 to $5,000 each, replacing multi-million-dollar air defense missiles. The NGO Come Back Alive alone has supplied interceptors to 90 units and claims to have shot down more than 3,000 Russian UAVs, saving air defense resources. More modern systems, such as Sky Sentinel, an automated AI air defense tower, are used to shoot down Shaheds with high accuracy, at a cost of only 1/20th that of conventional Patriot missiles. Not only drones, Ukraine has also deployed jamming systems, robot launchers, and optimized effective tactics. 2.4. Economic efficiency, when cost decides the battle. According to the Center for Strategic and International Studies, CSIS, each Shahed UAV costs only about $35,000, but a Patriot missile costs several $1 million. Therefore, the drone interceptor only costs about $1,200 to $1,400 of the cost to destroy a UAV. Cheap war beats expensive weapons. Ukraine has partly compensated for the lack of ammunition with this innovation. 2.5. Drone war, a strategic double blow. Ukraine not only defends but also retaliates deep into Russia. Drones targeting oil facilities in Sochi cause major fires and affect air transport. The drone campaign is expected to cause up to €650 million in damage to Russian oil and gas facilities from late 2024 to early 2025. Ukraine also carried out more than 23,000 drone attacks in July, killing more than 5,000 Russian soldiers, according to the Chief of the General Staff of Ukraine. The cost and impact of sharing between battlefield strategy and psychological warfare have changed the balance of dialogue with Russia. 2.6. New technology, from AI, EW to suicide robots. Ukraine does not stop at drone interceptors. EDM-4SUA, a Lithuanian mobile electronic jamming gun, is used by Ukraine to disable enemy UAVs. Mars Interceptor from the UK, UAV hits enemy drones with kinetic force, reusable and low cost. Wild Hornet Sting, a small $1,000 kamikaze drone that flies at over 100 miles per hour, took credit for taking down Shahed. Ukraine is clearly taking the initiative by innovating and exploiting existing technology. 2.7. Chapter 2 Summary. Russia used overwhelming Storm UAVs, more than 6,000 in July. One wave over Kiev alone had 108 UAVs. Ukraine intercepted 82 of them, with light casualties and Kiev residents surviving. Drone interceptors became the main weapon, cheap and effective. The dual drone strategy allows Kiev to strike deep and gain strategic leverage over Russia. Diverse technologies, from AI to suicide robots, enhance defense capabilities. Chapter 3. Strategic Consequences and Subsequent Scenarios. August 8, 2025 is not simply a new milestone in the Russia-Ukraine war, but also a catalyst that pushes the conflict into a new phase, with far-reaching consequences on 3 fronts: military, political, and geostrategic. 1. Military impact. After the attack in Kiev, Ukraine strengthened its urban air defenses and installed more radar systems and short-range anti-aircraft guns in key cities. At the same time, they stepped up their retaliatory attacks on logistics bases and railways deep inside Russian territory. Russia, on the other hand, saw this as an opportunity to demonstrate its ability to maintain pressure and break Ukraine's defenses. Suicide UAV and cruise missile strikes were intensified, especially targeting energy infrastructure and strategic bridges. The direct consequence was an escalation in the tempo of the war, with the number of attacks in the week following the event increased by nearly 40% compared to the previous week, according to data from the Institute for the Study of War, ISW. 2. Political consequences. In Ukraine, President Zelensky used the event to call on the international community to provide additional Patriot air defense systems, F-16 aircraft, and real-time intelligence support. The subsequent urgent visits by NATO leaders to Kiev were seen as a signal of long-term commitment. In Russia, state media used the attack as evidence that the special military operation was necessary and must continue until its objectives were achieved. This helped to consolidate support among some segments of the population, but also increased economic pressure due to the expansion of sanctions. 3. Geostrategic impact. The events of August 8, 2025 have pushed Russia-NATO relations to their highest level of tension since the Cuban Missile Crisis. NATO has increased its military presence in Poland, Romania, and the Black Sea. Joint exercises are being conducted with greater frequency, including tactical nuclear defense scenarios. China, Turkey, and some BRICS countries play a semi-neutral role, calling for negotiations while maintaining trade interests with both sides. However, mediation efforts are limited because both Moscow and Kiev believe they can still gain additional military advantages. 4. Possible scenarios. Scenario 1. Full-scale escalation. Both sides expand hostilities beyond Ukraine territory, directly attacking logistics bases located in third countries. Scenario 2. Temporary balance. After a period of fierce fighting, the front lines stabilize, creating conditions for a temporary ceasefire. Scenario 3. Negotiations under pressure. Both Russia and Ukraine suffer heavy losses, forced to sit at the negotiating table with the auspices of the great powers. Conclusion: 8/8/25, a warning mark for the whole world. The attack in Kiev on 8/8/25 has proven that the Russia-Ukraine war is not just a regional conflict, but a flashpoint that can change the global security structure. It shows the vulnerability of modern urban areas to long-range weapons and UAVs. The chain reaction when a single event can change the pace, strategy, and alliances of the entire war. The risk of expanding the conflict if the parties cannot control the pace of escalation. For the international community, August 8, 2025 is a reminder that every modern war has the potential